All right, quick demo with the thermal imaging camera. So you should be able to see me in there, red, orange, and yellow guy. Okay, so I usually point that out, and it'll work in my favor tonight. That means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame. Sorry, fellas, this is how this shit goes.
Because you ain't pointing it at me.
It's pointed at me. That's what I said. I'm in the frame.
You're not pointing
Yeah,
it
he
at
said
me.
he's pointing at him.
He missed my point.
Yeah, he's slow.
In the frame. So what we're looking for is exactly what Alan said is those cold spots. They're going to be blue and black. There's always going to be blue and black in there. I want it to move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms and legs. That's what I'm looking for out of this because that's what we've caught with it in the past. So
the red is the
heat.
The red's us.
Red, orange, and yellow are heat.
Purple.
Blue and black are going to be
Red and
cold.
black. All right.
So with this particular camera, I always love to give you guys stats. So I do this about 200 times a year and plus my own investigations. I capture 4 to 5 pieces per year that I would put my stamp of approval on, not 4 to 5 pieces per episode. You guys starting to see the point, I hope. I am not a TV show host and I'm not on YouTube, even though these videos all go to YouTube. But you see the point. Now, the cool thing about this camera is I do have it set up with a blue dot. The blue dot is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So we're looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops out of that blue dot bouncing around the screen. So we are at, I want to say it's at 79 degrees ambient for us tonight. So we're going to be looking for 64 degrees and colder. I do analyze it to make sure it's not a can on the ground, a sign. You guys are getting the point. Metal things are going to probably be colder. And definitely anything glass is going to be colder. So with this one, we're
Not this entire time, but I'm at 3 minutes of memory
okay.
for right now.
So I'm gonna hit this.
Yeah. You have one button, dude. You got this. There you go. All right, perfect. So, camera.
Why he keeps focusing at me? Like,
You always try to keep one of us in view. So let's bring it in a little bit, Alan. Again, we always like to at least kind of get through the history first before we spread out. Every location we go to is going to be operative a little bit different than the next one. This one in particular, I'm going to give you the history of the space, and then we're going to spread out. I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with this whole group and kind of seeing what's going on, take a bunch of notes, and re-bring us back here to show you how it all pieces together. Now with this location, starting here, all you communication device people, spirit boxes, Ouija board, and the word generator, this is where I start withholding information on purpose. I will not be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn.
White.
So that's your new baseline. Don't give me anything below that 2.9. We're going to do that every single time while we're in one space. So 2.9 I'll be writing down in just a minute. So again, with those spirit boxes, I'll give you guys focus questions of what, I don't want to say is what's permissible, because you can come up with your own questions, but this place can be a little temperamental, and I'll explain why as we kind of go through it. So where are you? You're in a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. So I take you to weird spots. This place used to be something. I want you to also take note that no other ghost tours are here because there's nothing to see. This is part of the reason why I love this space, and it's haunted as hell. Let's get into it. This place used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space facing East Bay Street, and Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant just below our almost full moon and coming all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for the secondary clues. In the event that Kevin hears the name Charles, I need to know which one it is by coming out of one of the other 2 spirit boxes so I know how to address them. Hopefully you guys are really starting to see the point on this. Now, son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for South Carolina. I hate politics more than all of you combined. We're going to move on. If I don't give the gentleman that recognition, they will do it for me in a nasty manner coming out of a spirit box. I just make sure I give it to them, we move on. Talking about Eliza. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it slowly like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, do not expect numbers from the colonial days when young ladies got married at the ages of 12 and 14. So, yeah, things did happen weirdly back then. Think of today's standards when young ladies get married because the husband was over double her age when they married. It's kind of a creepy age gap then, it's a creepy age gap now. So I just kind of put that out there. So, with that, she married him because her father was over in England. Dad thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his children back home to England so he can see his kids one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so instead she stayed put right here and got married. Well, it's 1744. You don't get married in that year to earn a green card. We're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. There is nothing horrific about this location. It's a true love story and should be treated with respect once you realize who this woman actually was. Moving on, she was correct. Dad didn't die right away. And instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye, makes your blue jeans blue. I think almost everybody here is wearing some sort of denim tonight. That's what we use it for today. When she got her seeds, no idea what to do with it. She had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. It's not always hot here, you Ohioans. Believe it or not, you always think it's super hot down here year round, and it's not. Then she had to learn how to make the dye and moved it to a cash crop, got a hold of Dad and told him that the rice plantations were going downhill. They were going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Indigo. So,
Indigo.
indigo with a G, not a CA.
Just making sure.
So with that, let's get into the weird stuff because that's why you guys are here. I am going to assign you guys focus questions. You can either say these things out loud, just based on what type of spirit box or communicator that you have, or you can just focus on them. Keep in mind, we have all 3 cameras and at least 6 pieces of communication out here. So if Trinity's asking a question, Kevin might get the answer. We never know where it's going to go. That's the beauty of when we're doing this out here. Even if I have just 2 people, there's always 2 pieces of communication, so our ghost can go to either one of them. Here's how this is going to work out. I'm going to go, we'll go left to right. So Kevin, you're going to start off with Eliza's death. So 4 major things that we get answers to: how old she was when she died, how she died, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So yeah, very pristine lady here. The 2 of your devices, it's kind of ironic that they both went to you because they're going to be working together. So with that, you're going to be looking for Eliza's full initials, Tim. So her initials are ELP, no anagram. I want them in that order. Hopefully they show up that way, because Shelly, you're going to be asking what the L stands for. Here's why. That's her maiden name. It starts with an L. But the Eliza that I just told you about with the indigo crops, not indigo crops, she is actually the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. First wife died. 5 months later, he married the one I just told you about. So the first wife named Eliza also has a maiden name that starts with the letter L. I'm not going to tell you what those 2 things are. So that's the way your 2 devices
What's the
are
letters I'm looking for?
ELP.
ELP?
Yep, ELP in that order.
This is kind of like a
I didn't
commercial.
know what that.
Perfect.
Like
What's the
that
commercial saying?
About Vanessa.
And this is what they call Central Cities.
That's a long phrase.
It's like really.
What it say?
And so we have
How about now?
And
the
so
same stuff.
It's like saying on the same station?
and so they have.
Yeah, it's like the same stuff.
Problem is I can't see it, and I don't know those. I don't have these buttons memorized yet. There you go. Better?
It's just playing random.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what it
that's
should
what
be
you
doing.
want.
See how that's moving? If that stops moving, let me know. So again, that thing's new for me. I'm still learning more about it. I've only used it myself like once or twice. So back to, your 2 spirit boxes, we're going to hopefully get the same type of answers out of. So we're going to use them in conjunction just because I don't have a new set for the new spirit box yet. You're going to be focused on the mansion. So it's not here anymore. So I want you to focus on what happened to the mansion. If you get the what, we will often get the 2 or 3 numbers from the exact date of when that actually happened. So I'm kind of giving you a clue that it was some type of tragedy. So again, if you pick up on anything weird at all, other than just a direct answer to your question, it's okay. Let me know what you guys are hearing, just the same way you've already been doing.
I said God away.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna be spreading about. I gotta keep Tim with me for just a minute so I can show him how to use that thing a little bit further. The last car already left, so we're gonna stay within the confines of this lot. And
Do I need to stay with him because ours work
you
together?
can, it's up to you, it's your
Okay.
night. Not one of the kids. So you don't know what the answers are. That's the beauty of it. So anything comes through clearly, it is, because you might get the answers to what they're asking as well. So we don't know where the answers are going to go. That's why I always use multiple communications. But yeah, it can be, but you're primarily, because it is a rarity to find those disembodied voices. Listen for those teachings. Listen for the songs. Listen for those kind of things. If you can make them out, let me know what they are. So again, I know it seems like an odd way considering what we watch on TV, but when you see the giant grab bag of things we're going to have,
Slow down,
that
don't
might be
walk so
relevant,
fast.
it
Gotta
might
walk
make
real
sense
slow
based
around
on
the
what
parking
they're
lot.
hearing plus yours. Exactly. Giant loaf of bread. Just gotta find the crumbs.
She said she's got to figure out what L means.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. You got the gist of what you're looking for there, right?
Yeah, just any kind of cold spots.
Moving around is really what I'm after. Slower, and I do watch all of these
Slow,
videos
yeah.
and fast forward, because that way it'll zip across the screen. I'll go, oh, what the hell was that? And I'll go back and watch it in quarter time.
Yeah.
That way I
The
can frame
reason
by
I was
frame.
looking back there is because he picked up 3.03.
Mhm. Yep, and you're on the right path. That's what you guys should be doing. That's the beauty of when we have a team this size is most people team up with
Covered
somebody else.
more area.
I keep thinking that the signs are a person because we keep making that.
You'll get a lot more false readings than you'll get good readings.
Yep,
more
you're
than
exactly
likely.
right with that one. And again, that one will literally pick up on anything that's in front of something else. So it's meant to be basically a stationary type camera, but
That's really neat. I've seen that in a lot of shows.
it's
and
still fun to play with out here and kind of see
Yeah,
what
I've
we
never
get.
knew how it worked. Like a lot of those shows, you'll see they'll have all them dots across.
That's
the
what
whole,
that's doing too.
Yeah, you just can't see it.
You can actually see it with.
If
oh,
you
yeah,
set
you went
it.
too far. Just dial it back a little bit.
Okay.
Got it. But if you actually go to T's camera, it should be able to see those. I haven't tested it yet.
It'll pick it up.
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
it's using infrared light that we can't see, so it should
Right.
be able to see those.
That's pretty neat.
But yeah, I know my last infrared camera, I mean, it picked it up no problem. I actually had to warn my people, like, don't face each other when you're with those two cameras, because that thing flashes light out there, and then it ruins that camera's recording.
Yeah, it'll pick up
So-
some more false readings too.
Yep, you got it. But with that particular camera, the one that T has, those are the ones that I don't always follow up with in real time, just because they are small. I send all the videos to YouTube, I watch them on a computer, you guys are going to watch them on TV. So the slower you move, the easier it's going to be for me to be able to
So
actually find something.
distinguish what's in.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Is this
pretty
what you
neat.
guys thought you signed up for, by the way?
I was hoping something
Okay,
along this
I'll
line.
take that.
Yeah, I was hoping for somebody that actually believed in it, not just somebody
Oh
that
yeah,
was.
this isn't a side hustle, man. Like this is the real deal.
Yeah,
Like, I walked away from 6 figures to do this shit.
Yep, that's where I'm at, kind of with it. I'd tell you more, but I understand what you got going on. We can always reply later. I can tell you
Oh yeah.
afterwards. But no, I got yeah, I make close to that. Huh?
So you talking shop?
No.
No.
No, he's good.
Nope, we're talking.
I'm keeping him on Ghost. Don't worry.
Yeah, she likes to keep me off her shop talk.
Well, what I was basically telling him was I don't follow up with these two cameras in real time because they're so small. I send them over to YouTube as kind
And he
of.
believes he's a believer. He's not he doesn't do it just for a hustle. game.
I'm also your biggest skeptic because you guys love to show up and tell me all the Hollywood bullshit that you guys like. Oh, I just said get out.
I mean,
like
we
no, I
watch
didn't.
it, but we also
Well, you gotta be
are
a skeptic.
Like,
If you're not,
Right.
you got if not, you're gonna you can always find something. That's what I said. Like
well, we've all experienced.
yeah, everybody's had some kind of experience, whether it was real or not. I mean, that's to be determined.
Well, hopefully, because I'm doing a lot more than just this. Like you've already asked, like I'm actually getting quite the name for myself internationally. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good.
Just based off of some of the work that I'm doing here.
That's good.
So I mean, it's again.
I believe. I'm a believer, and my thing is, I'm a believer to where I believe that there is a way that we can still communicate. We just haven't discovered it yet.
I don't think we have enough of our own technology built in that capacity yet. So that's why I'm
Correct.
always pushing you on
Yeah.
look at these things. What you got?
I've gotten hi twice. I've gotten a hello, but it was whispered. And then I've gotten go and you.
Have you talked back?
So with the word high, let me kind of put something in perspective here. These people are from the 17th grade here, maybe the 16th. So they're not going to greet me with a, hi, how are you? Usually they'll say, hello. Hi. Okay. Not to go by much. Sounds a little tiny. Obviously, it sounds a little bit better. I'm not going to write down the word high. But what are the other phrases that you heard?
You wake, and then I heard go, and I heard hello.
Then, no, mattress. I think it's telling me I'm tired. I don't know.
I don't have to write yours down.
Oh, no, it's fellow.
Yeah. And with yours, do you have anything that's in there with ELP or any other words being spelled out? Okay. Again, that one some nights gives me 0 words. Other nights gonna give me like 30.
Yeah.
The right one.
Move slow. You gotta move slow, okay? I want you to move
You have the word.
towards that tree real slow. Take like 2 minutes. Move real slow, point it at that tree, and then turn around, and then come back to it.
An actual word. I write it down so I can learn more about how that device works. Okay, I've had that done for a year and a half.
You know, you give the blindest person the smallest thing to look at. No, I don't. Hey.
Alright, let me borrow my other people. The cameras, just kind of keep them lowered a little bit. We got some folks walking through, so be mindful of that. Anything else you want to know? Oh, yeah, more people coming in. Be mindful of that.
Yes, yes.
Hey. Hey, Jack.
No, he's doing what I told him to do.
You can't point it at people.
He's not. He's going to that tree. I just told him to walk slowly to that tree.
Same thing.
I just thought class.
Go towards that corner right there. You see this? See that bent piece of metal on top of that column? Walk real slow towards it. Real slow.
looks like.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
Besides, finally got a decent reading, so I'm giving him another minute before I rein everybody in.
Oh yeah, what'd he get?
He got a 10. Still not the average for this location.
What's the average of?
18 to 22.
Okay, so.
They're east.
East.
When did they tear this place down?
Well, it was the mansion. Like it went into something else. Like, it was an empty lot for a long time, and then it was a restaurant. And I want to say they ripped that down in like 2012.
Oh wow.
I got track.
What'd you get?
Track.
Again, most of your list is going to be bogus. Like 80% of it will probably be garbage.
Oh, okay.
It's like the 20% that shows up that's
Place.
supplemental. Oh, there we go. That might be, going on with what everybody else is hearing from theirs.
Yeah, we got all of it will be compiled.
Right.
I don't
And
know if
then
you
look
got
at it as a
time
whole.
log. Do you time log it? Like where you know what's recorded?
So with
when?
the spirit box that records, the one that Kevin has, I do give you the marker of what I found to kind of give an idea of like, because I know I don't time anything, but it's a matter of like, oh, in 15 minutes in, we were still over by the big red barn. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right. So
I'll-
you got
right.
a common sense timing.
You got it.
Right.
Knocking at my door.
She's gonna be like our star of the night.
Oh yeah, this is my 12-year-old that's already been to college. So she's ready. She's not an idiot. She's a smart one.
What do we got now?
Hello, horse Liam. I'm in process.
Alright, where's Josiah? Did you get anything else? Alright,
Four.
got a 4, so we're still highest at that 10.6.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we should rein it in. Not a whole lot going on. Alright, everybody, let's head back to the relay.
Yeah, we're off to the rodeo.
How dare you interfere with my BJ?
Hey, I grabbed his shirt. He said, "How dare you interfere with my BJ?" Tell you don't ever listen to me.
No, they're women, dude. They don't listen to us until they need to.
Get stuff on those cameras, give your hands a break. Get comfortable. I think I got everything out of yours except for the brown hair that I gotta write down. That's super exciting. Why? Alright, Shelly, talk to me. Give me the last couple of terms you got going on with your device.
Sister, mentor, budget, intimate.
When did you get sister?
Right around the corner. I was walking beside her.
Can I hit that?
But was it closer to the alley
No.
or closer
Wrong
to
one.
the lot?
No, it was right before we walked up to the alley.
Budget, intimate, mentor, and sister.
And then Madison, Brad, associate, Logan. Grocery,
Yeah, that's
fatal.
just-
I'm
That's
very
good.
excited about the word sister, and I'm very excited about the word brown. Kevin, nothing at all? Along the way?
Budget.
Okay. Alright, I think I got everything. 20? Cameras, if you have one, be very discreet while we're in this alley, because those people do not like to get filmed. So just get one shot going one way or the other down the alleyway. And then, so T, where you at? So we are going to switch out your battery and your light at the next location to make sure that we're starting off fresh for that experiment, because that's where you're going to be the focus. Just so you know. So with yours, AJ, so go ahead and hit that record button. And the easiest way to get the best shot down here is to hit that record button and to just hold it down at your side. Just literally grab that top handle, but you want to stand over here so you're going down the alleyway. There you go.
Memories.
Switch hands.
Yeah,
Turn the
I got it.
camera.
I got it. Yeah, like
There
that.
you go. You got it now.
I heard memories. Simple like memories.
We like that.
Keep a towel in your brain. So we'll go through the history here. All right, so in the event that other tours will come through here, just so you guys know, they're going to come out of that ivy wall, don't get startled, or they'll come in the way that we did. I can't take you all the way through here, so we might get just normal tourists walking all the way through. In the event that that happens, just lower your camera to the ground, we'll let them pass through. All right, so why are we here? By the way, every ghost tour comes here. We have 338 ghost tours here in Charleston. Stop and think about that number for just a minute. Yes, there are that many. Every one of them stops right here. I was going to take this out of my route, because every damn ghost tour comes down here. I don't like to tell the same stories everybody else is doing, but this guy follows me around. We're going to be near a place of raised emotion for him from here moving forward, so he is probably always going to be around us. His story's been told for the past 50 years. I'm the first person that comes around where we can actually talk back to him and know exactly what he's saying. So, here's how this one goes. You're in Philadelphia Alley, and that's what we call it now. It used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So, dueling was illegal back in the 1700s. They had to find hiding spots. This just happened to be one of those hiding spots. Here's how the story goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. So I'm excited about the phrase brown hair that came through. Your spirit boxes are all slowed down. If you ask what color is a big red bone and you hear Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I don't need all the things around the word red. You just need the word red. So her brown hair is super exciting to me. I'm going to stop and explain just for a second about the word sister, just because it doesn't normally come up in a story, and why I'm excited about that. This doctor's sister published his written work. He was also a poet while he was here in Charleston, and she published his poetry of what he wrote while he was here after he died. So it's a very big deal that the fact that you had sister and she had the word brown right around the same time. She heard it the minute we walked in here too. So again, I'm not surprised, but I am also very excited that we're finally getting some solid clues. Anyway, back to Dr. Ladd. He moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée Amanda. She just inherited a lot of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of that doctor. He's going to take all your money. So he moves to Charleston to prove that he's not after her money. And on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a very good start to the doctor staying there in Charleston. And on his somebody's walking by the way, and seeing what's about to happen. The person walking by is named Ralph Isaacs. He has the same initials as where the doctor came from. We were getting the letters R.I. all the time from our regular spirit boxes like the Kevin's using. So I bought the device that Tim is using to make sure we were getting the exact letters. In the past year that I've had the thing coming down here, we've gotten the letters R.I. around Ralph's name about 7 or 8 times. So just kind of take that for what it's worth. Don't find it coincidental. Moving on. Ralph tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy, the coachman. He's going to try to kill you. Why don't you just come with me? We'll go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there that'll rent your room. You'll be safe. The doc took him up on an offer. The two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. So Amanda gets wind of this from Rhode Island. She moved down so they could be married. And Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. This is part of the reason why I was going to take this out of my route, because I hate cliches. Every haunted city you will ever visit, ever, is going to have a cliche list of ghosts. We all have one. This one just happens to be a doctor, but there's a little bit of legitimacy here. We're going to talk about that. So why are we in Duelers Alley? Dr. Ladd and Ralph host some plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. On their way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress they just saw. Dr. Ladd thought she was great, Ralph didn't. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly between the two of them, and they go their separate ways. But Ralph goes to his friends in the newspaper and places an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a weird disgrace to society kind of stuff. The doc saw that ad in the paper and rebutted with, let's go to Duelers Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. They came down here, back to back, took their 10 paces, they turned, the doc pointed his gun in the air, shot, one bullet. He didn't want to kill his friend. He's scared to show up. Ralph has his one bullet still. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doctor died. Fell to the ground. His friends picked him up to home on 59 Church Street. He died 10 days later, November 2nd of 1786, after refusing medical treatment. Two things about that last date. First thing, it's 1786. Gunshot wounds back then, a lot different than what we know of today. Secondly, he is a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning. He tried to bleed it out himself. So obviously he failed because he died. Every ghost story that comes down here tells your guests to listen to the whistles. 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to get a disembodied whistle, more than likely she'll come up on the voice recorder devices. voice recorders from your phones. Just remember, every local knows the damn story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland Street, Park Main Street, all four whistle down the sound. It's just something we do here in Charleston. So here's how I got kicked out. This is the fun part of the story. Super great to film and have a bunch of kids who are doing great. To own it. It's a Oh, I'm not on it. I just can't go all the way through it. Let me explain. He hasn't let me explain it. So here's how it goes. This alley didn't go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. So about halfway between where we're standing and Cumberland Street. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. This is where they kept all the livestock in the city of Charleston. We're talking like early 1700s. So cows, goats, and chickens are down here, and the reason why I'm telling you that is because those bricks down there are older than the ones we're sitting on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. I used to take my groups all the way through and show them those bricks because there is a handprint from a slave child on one of those bricks and fingerprint swipes and thumbs. And I used to take them down there for a history lesson. There's nothing paranormal about that brick. It's the last place you're going to find that kid ghost. You guys are getting my point. You already know how I feel about cemeteries. So, November 26th of 2020, took my entire group of 10, same size as you guys, down there, and gonna just point it out and move along like I always do. Well, that group didn't stop, they didn't keep going. They stopped and they were all huddled around that damn brick, waiting for something to happen with all of the gear. Well, I'm trying to move them along because we're also standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, not realizing we were out of bounds for tours. That new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter, who was on the tour that night, thought it was hysterical and thought it was great that her dad was getting yelled at. And we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on holidays because I worked in upper management for Walmart before I started doing this. You all fight over cows on Thanksgiving. You scarred me for life. I'm not doing Thanksgiving ever again. I called my partner the next day so I could figure out what to do and tell me what happened. And he started laughing at me the way my daughter did. You're not allowed to go down halfway. You're only allowed to can't go all the way through. You can only go halfway. You got to reroute your group, man. It's Black Friday. I'm sold out again. I told my group that night, I don't believe in the next story. I would normally, by the way, tell you a pirate story next, but I didn't think out of there too. We'll talk about that later. But I said, I'm into vampires, not pirates. And basically, before we left the space, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. So it's kind of like, oh shit, maybe we'll get something. So we took them up around the corner and told them what I did know about pirates, which wasn't much because I didn't have any time to research. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. Don't know what that one means. I wrote it down. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So it was kind of a, I don't know, shit moment for some people. I was actually quite pissed off because pirate stories, here's the problem with pirate stories for me. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Whenever I'm researching anything, I need facts and data. Like, pirate stories come from pirate lore. That was written 100 years after the Golden Age of piracy. So I didn't want to do a pirate story because every time you guys found something, I had to read a ton of books to verify one piece of evidence. The problem for me now is I built it up for 4 years and I just got kicked out of there in like February, March of this year. They're not allowing tourists to go through that area anymore. So I was like, oh shit, what are we going to do? So here's what's going to happen at the next location. We're basically going to take T's camera. I'm going to give you guys the history of what we're going to be doing at that cemetery. So we're going to go up to the gate and all 3 cameras are going to put their cameras right up to the gate. And we're hopefully going to be able to find what we're looking for, which is an apparition. So in the event that we capture the apparition on T's camera, I want to be able to see what the other 2 cameras were doing to see how it's going to collaborate. Essentially, my theory basically states nothing should happen on those 2 cameras if you get something going on with yours. So kind of vice versa. That's why we use so many different styles of cameras. It's wearing Remy's house, man. He ain't gonna mess with us.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
What? You worry about that squirrel?
Zero. Then he puts it over towards me. It's like 5 point something.
It's just
Where's
a,
your phone?
it's just a chipmunk.
Where's the phone at? When you're doing it. The phone in your hand, is it relatively close when you're doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's coming off the phone. 360 what? 360. Okay. So when we get up and around the corner, I do want you guys listening in. So the day that doesn't include you, so you're listening in. So we get up around the corner, I'll give you guys the history. We'll go up to the church a little bit closer, get our footage for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll explain our last location that we'll be going to after that. It works completely different than what we've been doing all night long. So cameras, if you want to keep them running, up to you. We're going up and around the corner. But of course, with T's, I'm going to have to change out the battery and light anyway. So yeah, let's go on up out of this location and let's go see what we can do with the cemetery. after that, we'll be, no, we're not walking through.
Maybe, what do you
We're not allowed to.
Yeah, can't go. Can't
Didn't
go.
you just listen to the story?
All right, let's get out of here before I get me another ticket. And he finds an apparition in one of his photographs. It's 1987. He doesn't have the technology that we have today. He has to send this thing off to Kodak. For the younger people in our group, that's where we send our pictures. We hold them. We have this additional screen. So Kodak can, basically prove the type of camera that he said he took it on, and that the picture was not altered in any way, shape, or form. So now we have this great apparition, but the apparition is said to be cursed. Females that handle this thing in a digital format, even on a tablet or a phone, are said to have the same symptoms like what we talked about at the beginning of our night: headache, nausea, dizziness. Pregnant females are said to not have a good pregnancy based off the gist of the story of the damn stillborn child. You can see why I don't like telling the damn story. So I am going to show everybody what the damn apparition looks like, but I am going to ask that all of you do not touch the damn tablet. In the event that something actually pops up from evidence where I have to give you a link to be able to verify the information, it will say safe link without the cursed photo. I do this for a living, guys. This is not a joke to me. All the other tourists go up there and they hand out their tablet and goes all the way around. Like, you're on another ghost tour here in town, don't take the damn tablet. Simply take a glance and say, I've seen that before, Nick told me about it, and then move on. So let me show you what this apparition looks like, and hopefully we can get.
He climbed up.
He climbed. That's interesting.
What was it?
He climbed up.
He climbed up.
So let me tell you why that's interesting before I go into this photograph. So because I'm looking to take this story out of my route, because it is a staple for every other ghost tour, I'm actually looking at another story that goes on across the street at the other half of the cemetery. Basically, the story over there is that there is a guy that haunts the place, and he was a slave. And the slave basically saved the church by climbing to the top of the church while it was on fire, and he was taking shingles off to stop the church from burning. Or whatever was hitting the building. So he climbed up there, and basically, and you heard fire earlier. Here's the other part of that story, is that he is not only said to haunt that, but the whole parable is that there's a story of a girl named Sally, and her friends dared her to go in there looking for this guy, and his name was Boney. So she's supposed to go in there at night, and she's supposed to lay a staff on his grave and leave, so her friends can go find it the next morning. So basically she goes in there, she thinks she sees something, and she slams the staff into the ground and is trying to run away, but she can't, because she basically stabbed her dress into the ground and she scared herself to death. So the part of the story that I'm interested in is he climbed up and the upper were fires. So I'll be writing down both of those. So I'm very interested in that. Like, that's very interesting to me. Here is the apparition that was caught. They see a palmetto web?
They are
Fever.
cockroaches, but they are.
That's what we done.
So I'm going to go kind of down the line, so everybody, I'm going to do 2 by 2, so I'm not like literally showing it to everybody individually. So here's your full picture that he took. Your apparition is right here, looking at a woman praying over her own grave, and then there's a baby basket right next to her. I want you guys to also remember what I told you guys about baby George back from the Pinky Mansion site. The baby might actually be there. We don't know. There's no records. So you can see the baby basket. Even when you, what was that word again? When you zoom in closer, like even on a computer screen, like you can see the weaving of the basket pretty damn clear. So this is what we're going to be going up there looking for with your camera. So when we get up there, again, all spirit boxes will be in place. From there, you'll be listening to. We're just waiting for that group to like stop chilling, like they're just sitting down. I don't know what they're doing, but we're waiting on them to get the hell out of their way. But we're going to go up there with our equipment. You're going to be listening in, and hopefully we're going to get maybe an EMF or two. So Josiah, hopefully you see a number that comes up out of that. And by the way, your name has shown up on that word list that Shelly's holding too. So again, Sammy, how do you spell your name?
Josia.
And that's exactly how it shows up. So Nevaeh's name is showing up on there several times over the past years. But I've seen Josiah's name on there. And nobody ever knows how to like, pronounce your guys' names when they see it. And not tonight, but it has shown up on that device in the past. So,
Thanks for living.
living, I know, right?
Hey, listen, you got your fan?
No, not like it's Jennifer's coming.
Can you give her your hat so she can fan herself?
I'm having a damn hot flash now. Rick, I'm old.
If it's giving off that strong of a feel, what do you got?
I had 16.7 of it.
It's
possibility. I mean, we're probably still getting things from this lamppost. So,
And especially the fact that I didn't know it wasn't fastened to the ground and I about ripped it out.
yeah, that's not good.
No.
But when we get up close to the church, we've gotten some like 9s and 12s over there. So again, it hasn't happened often. I want to say like 3 times in the past 6 months.
I don't know if it's hot flashes, it's doesn't do.
What?
Some hot too.
I'm not in the hot flash.
Sure, I'm sweating the balls off myself. No.
No, I'm not actually in the hot flash.
Yeah, it's hot. You'll be alright, okay, I promise.
No,
Do you know what a hot flash feels like?
no, I caught a lizard, but it ran off.
Listen, listen. Listen. Stop for a minute. I know, that's fine. Can we look for it tomorrow?
Wait, and you said that
So
the
you're facing
lizards
me,
are
right?
right
Yeah,
here.
we're gonna walk back to the
Listen to
hotel.
me. Look at me. Can we just pay attention to him for a few minutes?
So my wife is going.
Alright, we're getting ready to go. Yeah, I know, they're big. Hey, listen. Hey, I really want you to listen to me. I'm talking. Come here. I'm literally trying to tell you something. Can we pay attention to him for a few minutes? Because we're getting ready to go do a really cool thing.
I gotta go pull
Alright,
out
thank you.
things.
Where are you going? Back
I'm
to the
going to the
hotel.
hotel.
This is another reason why I don't like
Hotel.
going to Amsterdam, because everybody goes there.
Where'd they go? Good cat. They gotta go to the bar real quick. That's probably where it is.
Nick, mine just said everybody.
I heard you. I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I'm hearing everything you're saying. I'm only going to write down the things that are relevant. I'm getting really, really good at this. Which means you're getting all the gobbledygook. And wait do I see, wait do you see what I'm about to do to you at the next location? Yeah. Good job of being great at that.
She's really good at talking.
And one thing you learn when you're good at something,
All right, we're going to roll.
you get used to it. Oh, that's
Let's get AJ.
I like this tree though. Look what they did with the column. To hold the branch up.
No. They've been talking shit about those things since the beginning.
Yeah, let's get you one unit. I want all 3 cameras. Still have all 3. Great ones. Get you guys the front and center. So the sign, you're going to get a shot of the sign just so everybody can kind of see what it says. It's actually right here. Your camera's the only one that can see it. The double 7's are good too. So the grave,
Sorry, buddy.
just so you guys know, so is actually, you guys see
You
the
need to
cross
point
in
it
the
at that
background?
grave.
Sue's grave is to
Yeah.
the left of that cross and one more
Right there.
row towards the back. So obviously you figure, I'm hoping you know that there's a zoom on that camera, see? Zoom right in.
Just point it up there and
Your
hold
middle
it there.
finger's right,
Don't move.
right over top of it, yep.
Where?
So you can zoom right in on there. We'll get about 5 to 7 minutes worth of footage here.
Right
Kind
there.
of listen in
Don't
on
move.
these spirit boxes and see what we can get. And I'll keep tallying.
From morning.
Warning or morning?
Morning. Days done a lot. Yeah, nothing changed. Still got coat and lady.
Maybe the word female comes here last. It's pretty vague, but that could some patterns. Maybe.
never set one of these. That's why I was picking when he helps.
I'm still super excited about work showing up on shelves. I can't make this stuff up, so stuff like that happens for a long time. I think it shows, yeah.
Holy food sacrifice. Like spirit. Back and forth.
Come on, you gotta give us a little bit more specific. Let's talk about you, not the church.
Around here.
See, let's go with something specific that we don't normally do. I don't normally ask questions. Sue, give us your birthday. Do that for us. Kevin, have you heard anything? Sorrow live.
Trinity, ask a question. Like, what happened to you?
Hello.
Why did it happen to you?
Can I see your word generator for just a minute? I just want to go through the list.
Hard for whatever happened.
She had to work for you and sacrifice her life.
Did I say dinner? Boy for girl.
But we don't know what the gender of the baby was. You got anything weird going on there?
Not yet. That's what I was waiting on. Ask them if they're like, ask them questions like, are you alone?
That's a yes no question.
Huh?
That's a yes no question.
It is, but it lead to who's here with you.
A lot of terrifying stuff. That said Ellie. Band. So music. Right now.
Possibly. But you have to remember she's from the 1800s. A band back then just could have been a band of people like a group. We would be a band. Doesn't necessarily need to be musicians. Babies.
That's interesting.
Say something.
Yeah, meanings to the words was a lot different back then, and there was a lot more.
A lot more proper.
Right, yeah, I was looking for that. Yeah, more proper.
I
Yeah,
was trying not to finish
was-
the sentence.
yeah. I appreciate you finishing.
Yes.
I've gotten light.
We've become very dependent on technology.
Does shovel have anything to do with it?
Because it's very specific.
Willing. Look this way.
We are looking, Sue. We got 3 cameras on you.
Hold on. What's this?
Did you hear what she just said? Keep documenting, and I'm over here writing everything down.
Yeah.
Judging.
Not judging, Sue.
I've gotten again. I've gotten hello, and then I've just gotten out.
You had the name Ellie earlier. What does that mean to you guys? Still alive?
Yes. Edison.
Edison? I'll look up.
Luke Edison.
But but I'll look. What's nice is I actually have the records for the churches. I can go in there and see if there's a Lou Gedison that's buried.
Spy.
Sue, we're gonna wrap it up. Can you say goodnight to us?
We'll take you back.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. When's the best time to come talk?
On the anniversary. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do's and don'ts. Not holy again. Holy shit.
Just like on the sign.
Nope. Maybe.
Alright, I think we got enough footage. Go ahead and hit stop on those cameras. I'm gonna pull this off this corner so another score can come in and use it. We're gonna go right over here. If you want to film anything, it's completely up to you. Pretty much not necessary here. I do listen to this recording from start to finish. We'll be here for probably about 10, maybe 12 minutes. And it's only because this is the new space for this year. So this is how I learn about this particular device. So I listen to everything from start to finish whenever I get something new.
I have. Back then, right now.
What was it?
Back then, right now.
Back then, right now.
Old back then.
Alright, so you're going to hear literally everything around us. If something is too loud for you, simply turn the mics, because that's what's underneath this fuzzy part, towards you. It'll kind of muffle the sound a little bit, so that way it is not too loud in your ears.
I'm sorry.
Anderson.
So anybody that's listening to a spirit box or has a communication device at this point, I'm going to have you guys kind of hold please, just only because at this point we want to make sure, like when you guys say things and as quiet as your voice is, we want to make sure it's not a ghost in the background. So that's kind of the point. Whenever somebody's walking around, or like the young lady just walked by and they were talking amongst each other, I would make a vocal note for myself that that was two people walking by. Oh, you're definitely listening. Pop those things on there, nice and slow. You're going to hold this guy and sit there and listen. Again, if the car's too loud, just come to the fuzzy part towards you. So, you guys already know I've been kicked out of a few places. Here's how this goes. As close as I can get us. A couple of blocks further down Meeting Street is where the murder actually happened. November 1st, 1933. A woman fell to the ground and started screaming in pain. A man hit me. I know I'm going to die. She sang it over and over again. Everybody's a gentleman back then, and somebody drove by and seen a woman on the ground. So he stops to help her out. Gets out of the car. He can't find what's wrong with her. She's still saying a man hit her. He picks her up, puts her in his car, drives away to the hospital. It's where MUSC sits now. It was called something else back then. So they get to the hospital, and this young lady has a doctor. The doctor's name is Dr. James Avery Pickler. Very silly name. We've gotten all three parts of his name while we've been here. The doctor can't find what's going on with this woman either. A man's gonna hit me, I know I'm gonna die. She did die, right on that doctor's table. He still doesn't know what's wrong with her. So who is this woman? Her name was Mary Ravenel. We came over here from Mount Pleasant area and they drove over the giant bridge to get over to downtown. That's the Ravenel Bridge. If you watch Southern Charm, that's a character on the show. So just kind of put that in perspective of who these people actually were. Very prominent name here in Charleston. So the doctor doesn't know what happened. He sends her to go get her autopsy from the coroner. The coroner finds a scrape underneath her arm and a bullet wound inside of her rib cage. She was shot with a .38 and went all the way through her chest and killed her slowly. Here's what we know. When she was picked up and driven to the hospital, that means that the shooter got away. We have no idea who he is. There's no gunpowder residue on her body. This was not a close shot. You guys can see why I don't like doing this on the weekends with all this traffic. Her ears are probably bleeding right now. Like, it's crazy in there. Oh, great. Now we got this guy. All of her jewelry and her cash are still intact. This woman was not robbed. She still has all of her belongings on her. She's 64 years old. She's a widow and originally from Detroit, Michigan. What questions would you ask? What's she doing? Who is her husband? Good, I like that. We usually get that question. Okay, what else?
What year was it?
1933, that one we know, but that's good because we could verify if we hear the phrase 33 on there.
Why did you move here?
Why did you move here? Okay. I can assume it was probably because she fell in love with a southerner from Charleston, but again, we know the answer. What else? I like it. Keep them coming. I like things we can verify too. Come on.
Who shot you?
Who shot you?
How long did she live?
I don't know off the top of my head. It's funny you asked that because somebody actually lived 5 hours a few nights ago when we were doing this experiment. So couldn't find anything that said that she lived for X amount of time after she was shot. A good question. I like it.
How many kids did you have?
Okay, how many kids did you have? There are people talking nearby us, just for my own vocal note.
Why did she so sad?
And we have two groups.
She was walking.
We got two large groups coming.
Oh, of course we did. We're already talking.
Why wasn't she able to tell somebody or point or something? I don't know what it was.
Couldn't tell you. She may not have known that she was actually shot. Talking to the 64-year-old woman who's probably never been shot before. Never been. Where did you get?
You're right behind there.
AJ, no questions at all? It's funny, we got some answers last night that could have been capable of that answer. I can't prove it because we don't know who she was. We heard top of the building near the flag. Like two different occasions to go to spirit boxes. We don't know. Couldn't have been here because the murder happened 2 blocks that way.
It like doesn't make any sense.
But she intended to.
Alright, any questions?
It's like, can you imagine?
Anything, Alan?
I'm thinking,
It's okay. I'm putting you guys on the spot here. Here's what we've caught so far. Afterlife. What we've caught so far, mind you, this is the new spot for this year. I always wait till after Halloween so I can start looking at the new space, space for the next year. So November 1st of last year, ironically the 91st anniversary, when I was going to start diving into this, 90th anniversary. So a couple of weeks are going by, we're not getting much. So one night, somebody listening raised their hand and said, I just heard a female voice. It's quiet as can be. It's like a random Wednesday down here. Looked around the corner, I sent somebody around, nobody around. I get back to the office, in the background, help, help, female voice. Okay, that's cool. A couple of weeks go by. Yeah. Get something else. Person listening, totally different person, in the background, I just heard a female voice. Back to the office, help me, I have fallen. So now I have the keyword of help. I actually have the software to be able to analyze the sound waves from those 2 sound bites. It is the same damn person. Same voice, same tone, same everything. So I'm like super excited. I have some mumbles that I can't make out. I don't count those because I can't make them out. I don't like class anything that's not A, EVP. So the hope here is that I'm going to have enough evidence coming out of spirit boxes and obviously from this recording to be able to piece something together. We've gotten other clues just like we would normally get from our other spaces, but I'm hoping one day we get full direct answers. I'm also going to tell you why I tell this story. We've been talking about people from the 17 and 1800s all night long, aside from Big John, obviously a little bit more recent. So let me tell you why. The experiment we're about to do next, where I blindfold somebody and the other person gets a virtual reality piece, the person that was blindfolded one night actually said the name Mary, murder, and 33, and I didn't know what it meant. Holy cow with the noise tonight. This is why I made this on the weekends. The person with the virtual reality piece, they had an image come through along with those same words, and I still didn't know what it meant until I did the damn research. I'm gonna wait and just start to go by.
Yeah, I'd wait.
Let me sit here and scream at you guys.
Light's changing, so it won't be long.
So the image that showed up with the virtual reality piece, you're gonna see Mary on the left, the image on the right. So come on. We're gonna actually start on the case and see what's fine. You can hear me very, very clearly. Wow. So this is what came up through the virtual reality piece along with the words Mary, murder, 33. I just started Googling all the Marys in this vicinity so I can see where there was bleed over coming from. So when I stumbled across this, I was kind of like, are you shitting me right now? Like, putting it side by side, you can see the similarities between the eye, the brow, the cheeks. I mean, everything on here is almost identical, other than the fact that one's in color, one is not. So again, this is how I learn about these things, guys. This is where things come about for me. Keep in mind where we're going. We're literally going to this park like right behind me. So that way we can go do this blindfold test. Does anybody else want to try the headphones before we wrap this up? All right, let's go ahead and hand them over. Anybody else want to try them? We'll let you have about a minute underneath there, so just peel them off.
I have a question.
Yes.
She was alive when the earthquake happened. Because 1794 No issues. There's a woman coming.
Okay.
I just texted Andrew and I was like,
We had a lot of foot traffic, so I'll definitely look into it. So, I mean, again, I do listen to that thing from start to finish. So if I come across that woman humming and I can't like determine if it's a person walking by, we might have something.
I had
You have what?
I had
What'd you say?
I had rock.
Red Cross.
What was it?
Red Cross.
Red Cross?
Red Cross.
I have.
King. Wasn't on King Street. That's one more block up that way. It's in the opposite direction.
But so she was shot from somewhere that wasn't close, so she could have been shot from King
But
Street.
from a 38,
Yeah,
it's kind of a distance.
that is a distance.
All right, anybody else want to give this thing a try?
I tried.
All right.
Rotate it around. Do it.
I did hear the
Pointed up the steps, Nana.
Gavin, you got anything coming out of yours? Anybody else want to give us a whirl after we?
Now, what is that device called?
This is just, it's a musician's voice recorder. It's called a Zoom. Podcasters use Zoom products too for all the
Yeah, you see them with the mics covered all the time, just to cut down on.
wind.
Yep.
All right.
You wanna try it, Trinity?
Hang on to the headphones.
You wanna try it, T?
I'm sorry, you guys want to try?
What'd you say?
blinding.
Blinding?
That God did not live without.
All right, let me pack this guy up real quick, and then we'll go blindfold some people.
Okay, that was weird.
What?
It was like a black piece and it said,
What'd she say?
I don't know.
she said that she heard a light voice, but she heard it twisted.
You couldn't hear what it said? Ask him to speak up.
Did you want to use this here while we're doing that over there? Any one of those since you already used those. Just swap headphones because he's going to be using something different. He won't be able to use it.
What'd it say?
Good woman.
Good woman?
All right, let's go do this. I'm the jerk. I just don't. I like to remain things a mystery. Your camera, if you want to do like full 360s, like just
Yeah.
standing still, that would be fine. We've gotten things from all 3 cameras at this location. Well, from my other infrared, you see the point. Anyway, this was the new spot for last year, so I brought my 2 people in because it was cold and everybody canceled. And what I told them was like, hey, I don't even know who we're looking for in here. Let's just experiment with a new space. Tell me whatever you hear with the spirit box. They heard the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using the word list that night because I always use a few pieces when it's a smaller group. I had the name Tim on my word list. The bust right here behind me is Henry Timrod. He was born in 1828. It was a hot damn. There's my ghost. Nice and easy to do. I already knew a little bit about him, so here's his quick story. He's a writer, and he's sick through most of his life. So he's old enough to go fight in the Civil War. He goes out to the battlefield and to fight for the Confederates. So his comrades realized he was too sick to fight. They sent his ass home and said, "We know you're a writer, go be the voice of the war." So he came home, started writing poetry about what was happening on the battlefield. He became known as the laureate of the Confederacy. It's a pretty big deal. They're teaching his work in college these days, right next to Poe and Dickinson. So it's a very big deal. Anyway, he's publishing, he's doing well, and he has a son. His son's name is Willie. He's born on Christmas Eve, but he died 9 months later. So very sad story, obviously, with the dead kids. I'm sorry, last one, because it is our last story. But Henry's not writing as much because he's mourning. He has a writer friend that realizes he's not writing as much. He's trying to get him back on track. So he says, "Go use my cottage in Columbia. Get back on track, leave your wife Katie behind, to mourn with her parents that were here visiting." He goes out there, that's where he wrote his last words. His last words were, "Beholder of brief mortality," which means dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38. Now, super sad story, but we're going to take it a step further. They show this page that he wrote where he coughed up on it one day a year at the Charleston Library Society, and they only show it on Halloween because it looks like a man writing at his desk. We call it the Blood Book. And again, you have to be a member to go see it, but the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what the Blood Book looks like, and then we are going to go talk to them as if they are our ghost.
Slower.
So, here is his last page. You can see the blood stain. It looks like a man writing at his desk. So, pretty creepy story. We started off with a nice, easy football player. We ended with a little bit of a bloody death. Obviously, family friendly. You guys hopefully appreciate that. And when we get over there, because Trinity's not going to be able to hear me, I'm going to need a volunteer from one of you guys to be able to basically tap her on the shoulder if she's too loud. I don't think that's going to be a problem for her. But in the event that she's not speaking up enough to where I can hear her, I'm going to need one of you to kind of lift up her earmuff and say, "Just talk louder." When we're done, again, we're only going to do this for 10 minutes. She's going to need to know we're done. So I'm going to have one of you tap her on the leg. She'll know what these things are once we get over there. So again, I don't touch the people on the bench. Hope you guys appreciate that. But again, I get a lot of females sitting there, and I only do this when I have 4 or more people, just to make sure, like, hey, we're all being filmed. You know what I mean? Like, there's no hanky-panky stuff going on. But anyway, you guys get the point. So Kevin's thing is going to be super interesting. Hopefully he gives us some good descriptors of what's coming up out of there. We'll all be able to see the images that he sees before we part ways, and it will be in your report. I also run those images through Google Lens in case I'm missing something. I don't know everything, guys, so I don't know what all the guns are. I'm not a gun person, so if some guns show up, I need to know which era they showed up from, so that way I can kind of determine what's happening. Dr. Ladd also may come through. Keep that in mind as well. His house he lived in is right around the corner. So he loves to kind of come in and, like, steal the parade, if you guys see the point. Let's go talk to a ghost. Let's do it. And when we're done, somebody's going to tap you on the leg. Take off your own blindfold and headset, and we'll talk about what actually happened. So with yours, Kevin, let me go ahead and see your headset. We're only going to do this for 10 minutes, just so you guys know. So at the end of the 10 minutes, I'll say, "Kevin, peel that thing off your face." You will be describing all of the images that you've seen. You might get 0, you might get 12. You never know.
There's a picture to start with, and then something might appear.
So I put an ambient, like, galaxy moving around in there, so it just looks like a golden galaxy in the distance. And every once in a while, you're going to get a picture that shows up in front of it. It's going to look like a painting, a photograph. We never know. So just kind of briefly describe what's going on with it, because she's going to be talking over you. She's not going to be able to hear like that you're speaking. So 2 people bench tree. If she's not saying much, I'll say, what are the two people wearing? What gender are they? What's the time era? Like, I might ask you some probing questions. But that's kind of the basic gist of it. Again, you might not get any. You might get 10. The past 2 nights, we've only had 1 each night. All you'll have to do is look straight ahead, and it will line up with you. But when you get in there, and it's a little blurry, that's your focus right there. Not in there. So we're going to go ahead and throw your blindfold on. And as soon as you get your headphones turned back on over the top of that,
Just take that, yeah.
And then head with the top.
see how the galaxy's in there?
Yep.
So that'll always be there just so you don't fall asleep.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Trinity,
I put them around your
hold on. You gotta go around your ears.
It goes around your ear. It took forever.
Just put one over that one.
No, it took forever.
There you go. Now put your headphones on.
Hey,
Okay. It is 11:23 as well. So, Brandy, can you hear me? Oh, by the way, ironically enough, our friend that I just told you about is buried at Holy Trinity Church. It's another reason why I wanted her to be underneath this. Kind of be clear. I hope noted is what she just said. Let's get you guys circled in just a little bit more so you can hear.
Shaking at the
Henry. Henry, can you come forward and let us know that you're here by talking about your occupation? We got Mrs. Calvin here as well. Yeah, you're hitting a bunch of buttons on there, dude. Let me get your back straight.
866.
Henry, let's talk about your work. Can you tell us what you did for a living? You can even show us the last page that you pieced together.
And people.
Henry,
Structure.
this is Trinity and Kevin. We can hear what you want us to hear and see whatever you want us to see.
Only local people.
Quentin,
Skeleton.
the skeleton.
Yep.
Maybe.
Looks like terrestrial phase.
Preachers.
Preachers. You know what she just said?
Mm-hmm.
Henry, do we go straight into your death? Is that what the skeleton?
7 a.m.
Henry, I was trying to be nice and ask about your work, but if you want to talk about your death, we can do that.
Will Sky.
Can you tell us how you died?
In God's arms.
Wow. I'm serious.
It was.
Henry,
By the stairs.
what disease
In
caused
the
your death?
veins. And now.
What disease caused your death? Can you show us?
He complained.
Who complains?
Demons on the edge. Evil.
Evil.
I got table.
Table.
Henry, let's go back to your last, because your death and your work kind of go
He
hand in hand.
loves you.
Can you tell us about the place where you were writing, where you died? Can you tell us about that place? Who did it belong to? Describe it for us. These were questions I've never asked you before.
Bigger questions.
Okay. Who did the cottage belong to? He was a very good friend of yours, was he not?
Time to take.
Who did the cottage belong to?
Right where it belongs. If that was an option, I would take.
She's very good at this, by the way. I see a lot of people. Like, she's calm, cool,
I
collected.
would not forget.
Henry, back to you, sir. Did you bring anybody else here with you? Do I need to, try to talk to anybody else, Henry? You can always use the blue box. I'm sure Kevin doesn't want to fall asleep
He
in it.
had a son.
There you go. Henry, do you want to tell us about your son? Maybe his birthday, just to verify that you would like to speak about him?
He had a person with hope.
When was your son's birthday?
No.
Okay. We'll move on. You want to talk about your wife?
Somebody poor. Section.
Henry was poor, by the way. talk about your wife. So, can you give us her name? I would like more images.
Honey
Thomas.
and Thomas. The bee, the best.
Henry, more images would be fantastic. Let's go back to your work for just a minute. Can you tell us where it's being held? You can show us a picture of that.
She's not dead.
Are you speaking of your wife?
She took too long.
I don't know what you just hit. Let's see what you got. Can I see the
AJ.
camera?
AJ.
772.
772.
Double sevens is Dr. Ladd's birthday, just so you know, July 7th.
Summer strong.
Dr. Ladd, if you're here, give us your code word, please. That code word for you guys, that's purple, because that's not a common thing you hear on the radio, so if she says purple, it's obviously a good indicator. Henry?
Your heart.
Dr. Ladd, you can give us
All you did, 5 days.
you can give us something purple as an image inside the box. We'll take that as an indicator. That would be great.
Daddy found it.
But Henry, back to you. I would like to ask you more about where your work is being held. Can you show us where your work is being held?
Hey, take it. Purple feathers.
Thank you. I can't make this stuff up, guys. I promise you. Dr. Ladd, thank you for giving us the word purple.
Somebody's watching me.
Run.
Yeah, we're not running.
Nope.
Dr. Ladd, can you ask Henry to tell us where his work is being held, please? Maybe give us that image.
Everybody's taken. Wrapped up in a
Where's your work at, Henry? What type of building is it?
1-5. Look in my eyes. Fall. It's all white, yeah.
Fold. It's all white.
The truth is natural causes.
Speaking of your death, Henry,
Crazy.
it's a little nuts out here. It is a Friday night. You know how this goes. Henry, Dr. Ladd,
It takes a journey.
I'm sure Kevin would love to see something.
That skeleton was wrong.
Nobody knows. Quiet.
Quite.
Oh,
Henry,
they took her.
can you show us what type of building your work is being held in?
7234. Here's the double.
Henry, we're running out of time. What time did I say? It was 11:23?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Henry, we're at the 7-minute mark.
Taking promises.
We're running out of time. If you throw us 1 or 2 more images, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And we'll
In
get out of
your
your hair.
arms. A little bit scary.
I don't like to make this scary, Henry. Why would I do that? Why would we do that? We should be celebrating it.
Oh my, please, why? Professionals of Connecticut.
Professionals of Connecticut.
Connecticut.
That's where he's from.
Oh,
Yeah, he's from Connecticut.
Don't start caring about me now.
Henry, I've always cared about you. That's the reason why I'm here. We've had some good conversations this way.
Wrap it up in a bag. Take a walk.
Henry, I'm going to ask you one more question.
My heart is yours.
The young lady that is speaking back to me,
1-on-172.
her name is Trinity. Does that mean anything to you?
At the end of every day.
What does it mean, Henry? Can you show us?
We're having trouble on getting one. Fine.
We're having trouble getting one? What she said.
She just said fine.
Henry, what does the name Trinity mean to you? Can you show us?
Saving. It's to the lack of. It needs to move.
Henry,
When you fail, I get up.
could be the
I
married
killed myself.
Dr. Latt, let's get back to you. Can you give us the name of your fiance, please? I want more verification. Or that you're still here. What was her name?
So I kicked.
Dr. Ladd, one more chance to give me her name.
At last, to live your
Ohio.
loving in the morning. Something I'm protecting.
Okay. Henry, Dr. Ladd, last opportunity to give us an image. I'm sure Kevin would love to see anything besides that moving galaxy. I'm sure he's enjoyed this conversation that we've had.
Standing up.
I'm not going to have him stand up yet.
She's not sensitive. Jeffrey.
Henry, Dr. Ladd, second chance. Give us any type of image or any last message, question I've asked you. Give us the correct answer.
Kind of in. To stand.
Alright, gentlemen, going once, twice.
Scared her.
Did not scare her. Look at her. She is calm, cool, collected. She could probably do this all night if I let her.
156276.
1, 5, 6, 2,
Let's go ahead and tap her on the legs so she doesn't take that stuff off. Kevin, peel that thing off your face. Let's see your skeleton. Cameras, let's put a stop to him. Don't get up, anybody. Pretty nuts in there, huh?